You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete Signal Transmission Trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion, the book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
This show is brought to you by Safety FM.
Program is rated MA-LSV. It contains strong language, sexual situations, and violence. It is intended only for mature audiences.
Finally, show with the balls to call it like it is. Rated R Safety Show on Safety FM.
Countdown to audio torture.
The Rated R Safety Show starts in 3, 2, 1.
Let the eardrum pain begin.
Forget the corporate bullshit. This is the Rated R Safety Show with your host, Dr. It doesn't matter who the host is.
Oh, yes. It does not matter who the host is. What has always mattered is who the listeners are. Anyways, today, should I say today? Because I don't think I said today enough, is March the 17th, which is also known as, what is it known as to you? Would that be St. Patrick's Day?
St. Patrick's Day is all about the 3 L's. Leprechauns, luck, and my favorite, pinching. If you're wearing green, you get to pinch people who aren't.
Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Little Irish goes a long way.
Top of the morning to you.
Top of the morning to you.
What's the difference between an Irish wedding and an Irish wake? One less drunk.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. Anyways, this is the Rated R Safety Show. We are broadcasting from the Safety FM studios in Orlando, Florida, and coming across the multiverse known as Safety FM, and then hanging out with our friends and colleagues over there.
Radio Big. Streaming 24/7 at radiobig.fm.
Oh, yes, that's how it goes. So anyways, how are you? How are things? How did things go? Are you ready for St. Patrick's Day? That's a big deal for some people. Just throwing that out there. So I don't know. The beer flows green today for some people. And I don't know if that pinching thing, if you wear green and you pinch somebody else, you won't get decked. But who knows around here? Anyways, our show consists of safety in the news and safety.
News and safety.
Just in case you were not aware of that. That's what we talk about here. Hour number 1 is a radio show, or really all of it's a radio show that we put into a podcast network and then goes into a video streaming service. But don't worry, because hour uno, as we go through the whole thing, that's the only Rated R Safety Show side. It is a 3-hour show. Hour 2 and 3 is not on video. It is exclusive to radiobig.fm, just so you know. We refer to it as the Jay Allen in the Morning Show, just in case we can't make things a little bit more confusing than normal. But as we go through the whole plethora of things, what we are consistently talking about is news and safety. We give you a lot of news stories because people seem to care about that stuff, wanting to know exactly what's going on. So we make sure that you have the information and then we proceed forward. So if you're good with that, I'm good with that. So we can do this. I have some friends from Feature Story News that come in and they start talking. And you can actually join in if you want to get into the mix of things. All you have to do is go to callinradio.com. That's callinradio.com. Once you get there, it's going to give you some options of audio, video, and text messaging. Okay. Audio, video, and text messaging are the options once you get there. Gives me a little prompt on the screen, then I kind of know what to do going forward. Some people go, well, can't I just post something on social media? You can. I just don't look at it in real time. Should I say this part too? Sometimes I don't look at it at all, but that's a whole other thing. So there you go. So with that being said, I do have my friends from Feature Story News kind of waiting around wanting to talk. So if you're good with this, I'm good with this. I can bring them in. They can start talking. They can start giving you the news stories because you know that how it goes. This is a plethora of news that comes your general direction. So let's do that right now.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
From Feature Story News in Paris, I'm Ross Cullen. The US president says he asked China to postpone his upcoming meeting with his Chinese counterpart in Beijing. The meeting between Donald Trump and Xi Jinping was set to take place at the end of March. Laura Westbrook is FSN's correspondent in Hong Kong.
US President Donald Trump told reporters in the Oval Office he wanted to delay the upcoming summit in Beijing by a month due to the war with Iran. He said the White House had requested Beijing delay the visit by a month or so. Donald Trump's push to delay the summit with Chinese President Xi Jinping comes as the White House deals with the dramatic fallout from the ongoing conflict, and that includes the vital waterway, the Strait of Hormuz, where 20% of the world's oil passes, remains effectively closed. Earlier, Beijing had said both sides are communicating about the trip, with Chinese Foreign Ministry spokesman Lin Jiang saying the head of state diplomacy plays an irreplaceable role in providing strategic guidance to China-US relations.
Oil prices continue to remain above $100 a barrel on Tuesday amid the ongoing supply issues caused by the war in Iran. The elevated prices come as the strategic Strait of Hormuz remains closed to most shipping traffic, with no agreement yet from the international community on how to secure the crucial maritime route. Fiona Mee reports from Dubai.
We haven't seen any further strikes on the tankers, 200 tankers who are situated just off the Strait of Hormuz, anchoring themselves, waiting for some sort of movement, some sort of agreement between all sides to get oil flowing out of the Gulf once again. However, I will say to you, there are no movements. ADNOC halting their productions today in Al Fujairah, massive contributor to the oil market up in the east of the United Arab Emirates. And, it's a very difficult time to tell how things are going to progress. Oil production cut back 30% by nations here across the Gulf.
Iran is reportedly seeking the release of 3 tankers seized by India as part of talks to allow Indian vessels to sail through the Strait of Hormuz. India says there's no exchange between New Delhi and Tehran after 2 Indian gas tankers were allowed through the blockade in the Gulf. Ishan Guruk has more from New Delhi.
Tehran is reportedly seeking release of 3 Iran-linked tankers which were seized by India in February for allegedly being involved in illegal shipping in Indian waters. Reports say Iran is also seeking medical supplies from New Delhi. Though Indian officials have not formally commented on these demands, local media reports quoting government sources are calling the idea of a quid pro quo baseless.
From bureaus worldwide, this is FSN.
With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks, continuing our focus this week on various aspects of the US and Israeli war on Iran, and today we're going to look at the possible impacts on the country's extraordinary array of historic cultural sites. Already scores of museums and palaces have been damaged in the conflict, and both Iran and Lebanon are now urging UNESCO to add more sites to an official list of properties that are provided to all parties in the conflict.
Protection of cultural property goes back to Sun Shao in 6th century BC China, who argues destroying the heritage of your enemy is actually creating the first reason for the next conflict.
That's Professor Peter Stone, the UNESCO Chair in Cultural Property Protection at the University of Newcastle.
I'm very worried. There is no, I think, intent on the American side, certainly, to destroy any of the heritage, but that heritage is still getting damaged by what is usually known as collateral damage. So they're firing at something else, but the knock-on effect is that it damages heritage which is close by.
Among those sites already damaged, the country's oldest mosque in Isfahan and buildings close to prehistoric caves that provide evidence of human life dating back to 63,000 years BC. With FSN Spotlight, I'm Simon Marks.
And the top stories once more. President Trump says he will delay a planned summit in China with President Xi Jinping so he can coordinate the US's military operation in Iran. The US Embassy in Baghdad has come under what's been described as the most intense assault since attacks started. And the UK, Canada, France, Germany and Italy have issued a joint statement criticising any significant Israeli ground offensive inside Lebanon. That's the latest feature story news. Ross Cullen reporting from...
You are listening to something magical. You're listening to the Rated R Safety Show.
Today, everyone is a little bit Irish.
Hey, everybody's wearing green. Oh, no. Happy St. Patrick's Day, loser!
You have to wear green on St. Patrick's Day. That's the rule.
Pros and cons of St. Patrick's Day. Here we go. Pro, going to Ireland and finding a 4-leaf clover. Con, going to Colorado and finding a 7-leaf clover. Wait, that's not it, clover.
Wait a second. It's St. Patrick's Day.
Well, you might be like me and heard all these terms and we're not 100% sure on what they meant. Things as mining, blockchain, the Internet of Things. Well, I will tell you, we here at Safety FM have partnered up with a company that will explain this to you and will also have conversations to inform you on how you might have the potential of making passive income by being involved with this. All you need to do is go to safetyfm.com/iHub. They'll discuss blockchain. What exactly is mining? What is cryptocurrency? And what is the Internet of Things? To find out more information, go to safetyfm.com/iHub. That's safetyfm.com/iHub. And don't forget to mention that Jay Allen sent you.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy. now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.
You ever hit the wall, burnout, stressed, or just feeling that everything is piling up and thought, yeah, I probably need to talk to someone? The problem is finding the therapist who actually takes your insurance feels impossible at times. That's where Rula comes in. Rula is a healthcare company that makes mental health care easy to access and actually affordable. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, so the average copay is about $15 a session, sometimes even less. With Rula, you get matched with the right therapist for you, not just whoever's available. Their network has over 15,000 licensed professionals, and you can book an appointment as soon as tomorrow. No wait list, no frustrations, just therapy that works with your schedule and your insurance. Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that actually covered by insurance. Visit rula.com/safetyfm to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know that we sent you there. That's rula.com/safetyfm. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget. Go to rula.com/safetyfm right now to get started. That's rula.com/safetyfm, because you deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
Listen at your own risk. Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so here we go. Let's start talking right away about some of the things that are going on inside of the world of the multiverse, because that's just kind of how it goes throughout the system here. So let's get into some serious stuff right away, because we need to start talking about some of the things that are going on inside of the world, because that's kind of what we do around here, so don't worry about any of that. So there was a huge recall. Did you hear about this? If you have not heard about this, let me kind of tell you about it. Hyundai has issued a stop sale and a recall for more than 60,000 of its Hyundai Palisade SUVs following a tragic incident involving a child. The recall focuses on certain 2026 Palisades Limited and Calligraph models, which come with power folding second and third rows. According to the automaker, the seats may fail to detect contact with a person or object, allowing them to keep folding even if there's someone in the way. The issue came under scrutiny after the death of a 2-year-old girl in Ohio on March the 7th, which is currently under investigation. Hyundai says it does not yet know all the details, but extended condolences to the families. Owners are being urged to avoid using the power folding seat controls when anyone is in the vehicle, especially children. until the permanent fix is available. To address the problem, Hyundai is working on with National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and developing a software update designed to improve the system and ability to detect people or objects in the seat area. The update is expected to be out by the end of March, and the company says that it will provide rental vehicles for affected customers until full repair is ready. In the meantime, the advice is simple. Don't use those power folding seats unless the SUV is empty. So that's going to become the thing. Let's just be realistic to it. Some people are not going to know about this because by the time you get letters out, emails sent, and all that kind of fun stuff, depending on, the email setup, if you are one of these people that accepts emails from vendors, that's going to be one thing. And then by the time that you check your snail mail, who knows what exactly will go on. So that's the thing. So you're not going to know. You're going to probably end up using it. I mean, they're doing the right thing about in regards to trying to report it and let people know what's going on. But man, that's going to be the hard part, because it's not like you can send something throughout the system. Let's just be realistic. If you have certain kind of vehicle that has an infotainment system, you might be able to force something through as the manufacturer, but that's going to be kind of limited to that as well, where you might be able to flash some things on there. But then that kind of gets into that creepy zone, because I remember some years ago, there were some weather issues in some area here in the U.S., and there was a pretty strong EV company that they ended up giving people further fuel, well, what would be considered fuel or battery power to their vehicle remotely. And a lot of people were pissed off at first. Not that they had given them more range on the vehicle, but that was something that was a software issue that could be done at any point. So, of course, people are upset about that, but that's just kind of how it goes. Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things. A federal judge has temporarily stopped a major parts of the vaccine policy overhaul proposed by Robert F. Kennedy Jr. Brian Murphy in Boston ruled that the key elements of the plan could not move forward while the lawsuit plays out. The decision sided with medical groups, including the American Academy of Pediatrics. The ruling blocks Kennedy's efforts to remove all 17 outside experts from the Centers for Disease Control and the Prevention Advisory Committee of Immunization Practices and replace them with new members. The panel helps decide which vaccines are recommended nationwide and typically covered by insurance. The lawsuit claims that federal regulations acted illegally when the CDC earlier scaled back the childhood immunization schedule, cutting the list of routinely recommended vaccines to 11 and weakening guidance in several diseases, including flu, rotavirus, and hepatitis A. The case also challenges the administration's decision to stop recommending COVID-19 vaccines for most children and pregnant women. Judge Murphy ruled that the medical groups were likely to win their argument that the government exceeded its authority. So he had ordered the panel changes and any decisions made by new members to be put on hold now that there is a legal fight that is continuing on. So, what do you think? It definitely sounds like it's going to get more and more interesting as we are talking.
It's this show, and they just make fun of a whole bunch of people. It's just too funny. It's too stupid.
Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, so let's continue talking. President Trump has announced that White House Chief of Staff Susie Wiles has been diagnosed with early-stage breast cancer in a post on Truth Social. The president said that Wiles, 68, decided to begin treatment immediately, and it has what he described as an excellent prognosis thanks to the strong medical team. Despite the diagnosis, Trump said that Susie plans to continue working during the treatment and will spend most of her time at the White House. Susie has become one of Trump's most trusted advisors and is widely credited with helping guide his 2024 campaign victory and bringing more organized operations to the administration compared to his first term. Trump praised her resilience, saying that her decision to keep working while undergoing treatment shows the strength and dedication she brings to the job. So there you go. Yep, that's what I said. Okay, so take a listen to this one. Let's continue down
this bad.
Kristi Noem has been referred to the U.S. Department of Justice by congressional Democrats over allegations that she may have committed perjury while testifying before Congress. The dispute centers on a $220 million advertising campaign for the United States Department of Homeland Security that featured Noem riding a horse in promotional spots. During her testimony before the United States Judiciary Committee earlier this month, Noem said the President Donald Trump knew about the approved campaign. Days later, the president told reporters that he had not approved the ad. The contradiction prompted the Democrat lawmakers, including Jamie Raskin and Dick Durbin, to send a referral asking Attorney General Pam Bondi to investigate whether Noem knowingly made a false statement under oath. They also pointed out that the statute of limitation for lying to Congress is 5 years. The controversy also involves questions about who received the ad contract, which reportedly went to a consulting firm tied to her husband of Noem's former spokesperson, raising conflict of interest concerns. While 24 hours of her testimony, Noem became the first cabinet secretary dismissed during the president's second term. She and political advisors Corey Lewandowski are scheduled to officially leave DHS on March 31st. The administration has dismissed the referrals as political theater, with Justice Department spokesperson calling it the latest political stunt and saying Democrats should instead vote to reopen DHS funding. So, there you go. A lot of stuff going on. Man.
It gets so political around here and stuff.
Okay, so let's continue talking about some other things, because there is a plethora of things going on. A group of Tennessee teenagers and one adult have filed a lawsuit against Elon Musk's company, AI company XAI, claiming that the chatbot Grok was used to generate sexually explicit fake images of them. According to the lawsuit, a person arrested in December allegedly took photos of the teens from Instagram and used Grok to create images that appeared to show the minors nude. The complaint says that it's manipulated images that were later shared across platforms like Discord and Telegram, where some were reportedly traded in online chat rooms. The plaintiffs argue that the AI tool is capable of generating sexualized images of adults, can also be used to create child sexual abuse material involving minors. Their attorney say the technology allowed these images to be created and spread in ways that could follow the victims for the rest of their lives. The controversy comes after Grok was already faced scrutiny internationally, with governments in countries including Brazil, United Kingdom, Spain examining similar concerns about AI-generated deepfake images. Earlier this year, XAI restricted Grok image generation features and said that it would no longer allow the tool to undress people in photos. Still, critics argue that safeguards came after the technology had already been misused. One mother involved in the case said that her daughter suffered panic attacks after discovering the fake images circulating online, turning what should have been a joyful senior year into one filled with fear how her photos might be manipulated. The lawsuit claims the damage from AI-generated deepfakes can't easily be undone once the images spread across the internet, and ask whether companies releasing these tools did enough to prevent it in the first place. So what do you think here? I mean, it's a very interesting time as we are talking. Let's just not lie about this, because now we're looking at multiple things going on at one time. So you have someone who is being sexually exploited online because somebody uploaded an image of their face, potentially maybe their body, clothed, but you're still running into issues because think about it for a moment. They're being technically undressed by quote unquote AI, and I am using quote unquote allegedly because I don't know how they were actually uploaded. So that would be the purpose of the case. So what do you think will end up taking place? I would love to hear more about you in regards to what your thought process is by going to callinradio.com. You can leave a message there, video, audio, or text message in regards to that. So there you go. Okay, so let's talk real quick about some things that are getting strange here because they just do. Burger King just made it official. The king is out, and apparently you're wearing a crown now. The fast food chain rolled out a new campaign called There's a New King, and it's you. And basically fires the old creepy plastic Smile King mascot that used to lurk their commercials. Instead, the company says customers are now the real king of the brand. The move is part of Burger King's ongoing makeover. However, the last years renovating restaurants, tightening up operations, and leaning hard into customer feedback, the company says that fans have been shaping things like the Whopper by You platform, tweaks the legendary Whopper, and even the menu details like sauces and packaging. They've gone so far to invite customers to call or text the president, Tom Curtis, directly and talk about their Burger King experiences. That's either bold transparency or a guy with a phone that probably never stops buzzing. Take a listen to their new commercial.
And that this guy definitely wasn't helping any of it, which, fair point. So we fired the king and crowned you. Reinvesting nationwide, one restaurant, one team, one burger at a time. Because there's a new king, and it's you.
There's a new king, and it's you. What do you think? Does that stick with you? I don't know. Burger King, they fire the king, which means the Whopper finally staged a coup. Burger King says, you're the new king. Congratulations. Your royal duties include asking for extra napkins. If a customers are going to be the king now, that explains why the drive-through line moves like a royal parade. The king's mascot is gone somewhere. He's updating his resume. Former monarch, skilled late-night drive through lurking. Burger King says that you're the king, so technically every drive-through speaker is now a royal hotline, and the crown goes to the customer, meaning that the royal treasury is still $9.49 for the combo. And last but not least, Burger King fired the king. Apparently, even monarchs can get replaced after customer feedback forms, is what it sounds like. So what do you think here? Just some things. Okay, so let's talk about this because I want to talk about this real quick before I forget. And that's kind of terrible that I just said that. And I'll explain why in a minute. A small UK study suggests that little daily cycling might give your brain a tune-up. Researchers followed about 23 overweight adults in their mid-30s. Half of them did a 12-week cycling program, riding 4 times a week, about 17 to 26 minutes a day on average, while the rest stayed mostly inactive. The cyclists showed a big jump in brain neurotropic factor, BDNF, a chemical that often called the brain fertilizer because it helped brain cells grow and communicate. Those who didn't exercise saw no change. Brain scans also showed something interesting, and cyclists had lower activity in the prefrontal cortex during attention and inhibition at task. Researchers say that likely means that the brain was working more efficiently, not harder. The study also found that exercise group lost a little body fat and improved cardiovascular fitness, while the non-exercise group fitness actually declined. The study didn't show memory improvement during the 12 weeks, possibly because the trial was too short. But scientists say that the boost of BDNF could eventually help brain health and may help a role in reducing dementia risk. So what do you think there? It's pretty interesting in regards to that. So is this something that you would try? I'm just asking. So there you go. Okay, so take a listen to this. Are you a Gmail account user? I'm just asking the question. No, like seriously, I'm asking the question because I want to have a better understanding if you are or you're not. Because if you are, I have some messages for you, or I might have something to share with you. So let's kind of go through some of this real quick. Cybersecurity researchers say that a new scam in targeting users' Gmail by pretending to be an official security tool from Google. Expert at Malware Bytes Labs discovered that a fake website closely copies Google's real account security checkup page. The page walks victims through the look like a legitimate 4-step security process, but it actually is designed to hand hackers access to personal data. Scammers try to lure people to the site by phishing emails, texts, pop-up alerts claiming that their Google account needs urgent verification. Once their users are told to install a security tool, instead it installs Progressive Web App, PWA, that hides the browser address, making it look like the real Google app. From the trap unfolds, victims are asked to enable notifications, giving attackers direct communication channels to their devices. The page also requests access to their phone contacts, which are secretly sent hacker-controlled servers. And then it asks for the GPS location data, collecting detailed tracking information like coordinates and movement speed. Security experts say that the scam can also intercept two-factor authentication codes, allowing attackers to bypass login protection and potentially break into your Gmail and other Google devices. In some cases, additional malware may be installed to record keystroke capturing passwords and other sensitive information. So there you go. If you're a Gmail user, be on the close lookout there. That is for sure. Okay, 32 minutes past the top of the hour, and maybe it's time to do that thing that we do around here that we normally call our main story.
Here is our main story on the Rated R Safety Show.
Okay, main story time. A lot of people not loving yesterday. Some people did, some people didn't in regards to some of the stuff we had to say, but that's okay. Because that's kind of what we do around here. We talk a little bit about everything. And I want you to think about the last time you sat in a Monday morning production meeting for a moment. You know that exact room that I'm talking about? The fluorescent lights are buzzing, the coffee tastes like battery acid, and the plant manager is standing at the front of the room clicking through the PowerPoint deck for quarter 3 safety metrics. As you sit there staring at the screen, a cold, heavy feeling drops right into the pit of your stomach. It's profound, terrifying sense of absolute deja vu. Yeah. You look at the slide, you look at the manager's mouth moving, and you realize that with absolute certainty, I have lived this exact moment before. Not a similar moment, the exact moment. You have heard the exact excuse for why the maintenance budget was slashed. You have heard this exact corporate bullshit about safety as our number one priority. And you have seen this exact hazard ignored. We write off the feeling, we call it a glitch in the brain, but I'm going to tell you something that will completely shatter the way that you look at your job, your life, and the entire corporate construct. It's not a glitch in your brain, it's a glitch in the fabric of reality. Yeah, let me explain this to you. Let me introduce you to a guy named Philip K. Dick, if you've not heard me talk about him before. If you don't know the name, he was a brilliant, paranoid, visionary science fiction writer, but later in his life, he wasn't just writing fiction, he was writing a massive manic journal called The Exegesis, where he basically tried to decode the simulation we are all trapped in. And one of the most terrifying concepts that he came up with was something called orthogonal time.
Duh.
See, we are taught that from the day we are born, that time is linear. It's time that's a straight line. It moves the past, the present, into the future. And the ultimate marketing lie. Corporate America loves linear time because it allows them to sell you the illusion of progress. They tell you, look, we are moving forward. Next year will be better. We are marching down the straight line to zero harm. Have you heard that before? But Philip K. Dick realized that linear time is complete illusion. He argued that time isn't a line moving forward. He believed that there is a secondary axis of orthogonal time that intersects at the right angle. It's orthogonal time. History doesn't move forward. It just stacks on top of itself. The same archaeological type events, the same traumas, the same human struggles, just reoccur over and over and over again. It's static, and it's an eternal loop. PKD, Philip K. Dick, just in case, famously wrote the phrase, "The empire never ended." He meant that as an oppressive, sociopathic Roman Empire didn't fail. It just changed its clothes, rebranded itself, and kept ruling us. And if you look at the blue line, if you look at the reality of the American workplace, you will realize that Philip K. Dick was absolutely right. The corporate empire never ended. We are trapped in orthogonal time. Think about it. Are we actually moving forward, or are we just leaving the exact same failures on a loop? Think about it for a moment. Let's look at manufacturing floor in 2016. A 22-year-old kid gets his hand crushed in a stamping press because the safety interlock was bypassed by supervisor trying to hit a production quota. The company panics. Then they have the root cause analysis, or the RCA. They blame the worker for the loss of situational awareness. They hang up the new safety poster in the break room, and they retrain the staff, and they claim that they have moved forward. Sound familiar? Now, cut to 2026, 10 years later, a different 22-year-old kid gets his hand crushed at the exact same stamping press because a different supervisor bypassed the exact same interlock and hit the production quota. Did time move forward? Did the culture progress? Absolutely fucking not. We just repainted the walls, hired a new HR director, and ran the exact same broken simulation. Corporate America survives by consistently laundering its own liability through an illusion of time. Every 3 years, they roll out a new safety initiative. First, it's behavior-based safety, then it's HOP, then it's Safety 2, or however you want to call it. Then they change the acronyms. They buy a new software. They hand out new polo shirts. Then they put on. They tell everybody, "You're moving into the future." Does any of this sound familiar? Seriously. But hazards haven't changed. The sheer unadulterated greed of the C-suite hasn't changed. The pressure on the frontline worker hasn't changed. You are not moving forward. You are a hamster on a very expensive, highly sanitized corporate wheel. And this bleed doesn't stop at the facility gate. It follows you home. Now think about this for a moment. Look at your own personal life. Look at the patterns. How many times have you woken up dreading the alarm clock? Driven the exact same commute and had the exact same argument with your spouse about money or exhaustion or the fact that you have nothing left in the tank for your kids. You keep waiting for the future to arrive. You keep telling yourself, if I just get through this quarter, if I just get through the next year, things will get better. But next year arrives and it feels exactly like yesterday. You start questioning if the same things are moving forward at all, or if you are actually moving in reverse, slowly losing ground, slowly losing your sanity, trapped in a reoccurring loop of exhaustion and survival. When you realize that you are living in orthogonal time, when you finally see the pattern, it is a terrifying, isolating moment because you look around the safety meeting and you realize that you are only one who sees the matrix, quote unquote. Everyone else is still buying the linear lie. But seeing the loop is the only way you can ever survive in it. If you don't know whether time is moving forward or backwards, you have to stop relying on the future to save you. You have to stop believing that the next corporate initiative is going to finally fix the toxic culture on your floor, because it won't. You have to shatter the pattern in the eternal present. You have to see the supervisor walking over the bypass of the interlock by the 100th time. You don't write it down for an audit form for a meeting for next month. You don't wait for the timeline to play out. You walk over, you hit the e-stop, you lock the machine out, and you break the stupid pattern that is right there in front of you. Then and there. You're accepting the rebranding bullshit when executives sit in the boardroom and try to feed you the same regulated excuses they used for the last 5 years. You look them dead in the eye and say, I have heard this before. We have lived this before, and I am not playing this tape again. I know it's going to get some people rattled when you start talking like that. So as we start to bring the main story to a close and wrap up the segment, I want you to take a hard look at the patterns in your facility and the patterns in your life, and stop waiting for the timeline to move forward, because the system is designed to keep you walking in circles. The empire never ended. The corporate machine never evolved. It just got better in hiding the blood. If you want to keep people safe, and if you want to keep your own soul intact, you have to recognize the loop. You have to be, abnormal at some points. And you have to be the friction that stops the wheel from turning. Break the pattern, break it, because if you don't, I will let you know this. You'll be sitting in the exact same room having the exact same conversation for the next 10 years.
Oops. What did he just say?
We at Safety FM don't always agree with the viewpoints of our hosts and guests.
Now back to real safety talk on Safety FM.
Don't go anywhere.
You're listening to the home of real safety talk.
You are listening to Safety FM. We'll be right back.
This portion of the show has been sponsored by Private Internet Access, America's #1 virtual private network, or VPN. Even if you use incognito mode, internet service providers is storing your browser data and many times even selling it. But Private Internet Access, or PIA, can help you. PIA encrypts and reroutes your internet traffic through one of its own servers, hiding your data from your internet service provider or network admin. And with servers in over 75 countries, you can get unrestricted access to geo-blocked content from around the world. PIA comes with easy-to-use apps and browsers extension for all devices, a rock-solid privacy policy, open source security, advanced customization settings, and it was just ranked the fastest VPN in the world by PC Magazine. And if you sign up right now with PIA, you can take advantage of a special deal only for Safety FM listeners. Only by using the following link, you can get the digital privacy for less than $2 a month. Yes, you did hear me correctly, less than $2 a month, and an extra 4 months for free. So that means for only $1.98 a month and 83% off, you can get this service for you right now. That's so much more inexpensive than virtually every other VPN on the market. And if you get it right now, you can take PIA's 30-day risk-free challenge. You can try it out for 30 days, see if you like it, and if not, just return it for a full refund. So just go to safetyfm.com/VPN. That's safetyfm.com/VPN to try out the best VPN on the planet completely risk-free. Now remember, safetyfm.com/VPN.
Is your safety training old, stale, and hacked? Is your safety trainer still preaching a warped version of behavior-based safety? How about safety training that actually addresses your hazards in your workplaces and is not standardized baloney from 25 years ago? Contact the Safety Wars team at safetywars.com or call Jim Posel at 845-269-5772. Remember, if you're receiving this message, you are the solution to unsafe workplaces.
This isn't a safety manual. It's a transmission. Jay Allen, PhD, host of the Rated R Safety Show and founder of Safety FM, has spent years pulling back the curtain on the systems we work in and the ones we don't talk about. What started as a fatal crash on the 405 became a search for truth. Through behavior-based safety, human and organizational performance, simulation theory, and everything in between. Safety, in my opinion, is raw, reflective, and real. From burnout to breakthroughs, from the matrix to the moment someone says, "This doesn't feel right." This book doesn't give you answers. It hands you the signal. Safety, in my opinion. Available now, wherever books and audiobooks are found.
Radio Big. USA, Canada, UK.
Okay, here we are. 45 minutes past the top of the hour as you and I are hanging out on this lovely Tuesday. This right here that you're taking a listen to, Somebody New in You. Yeah, that's the name of the song. Brandland. Name of the artist is Brandland. Song is readily available on Apple Music, YouTube Music, Spotify, and Pandora. Someone New in You. Hey now. So there you go. Thanks to Brandland for allowing us to play this here on the Rated R Safety Show. No doubt about that one as we are moving forward. So there you go. Let's continue talking about some other things that are going on. And if anything, let me tell you about the most important thing that I will ever tell you in my lifetime. And that's about my friends at To Write Love on Her Arms. No matter what you're facing, you deserve to be connected to help. And we want you to know that people have been where you are now and things can get better. Healing is possible. To find out more information, all you have to do is go to TWLOHA.com. That's TWLOHA.com to write love on her arms. Once you get there, audio, video, nope, whoa, my brain just fried. Once you get there, there's information related to addiction, depression, anxiety, eating disorders, self-injury, suicide, trauma, and grief support. That's TWLOHA.com. Click on the section that says Find Help, and you'll find all of this great information for you right there. I don't even know where my brain went there for a moment. It seemed like I lost it for a moment. That's what it sounded like. Anyways, let's continue talking about some other things. If you're not aware, this is coming up quick. Like quick. Like 2 weeks from today, quick. Conklin Conference taking place. Well, let me rephrase that. Conklin Workshop taking place, because this one's not the conference. Going on in Santa Fe, New Mexico at Hotel Santa Fe. Would love to see you there. Taking place March the 31st through April the 1st. Yeah, we're going to be hanging out there with Todd Conklin, Brett Sutton, Redonda Voigt, and Ann Liren, talking about an incident that happened to Redonda Voigt and how you would actually be able to do an incident investigation, taking a look through the lens of human and organizational performance. If you want to know more information about that, you can scan the QR code right there on the screen, or you can go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says live events. So there you go. There's some options for you in that particular regards. That's going on March the 31st through April the 1st. We have another event taking place as well. This one's occurring on July the 13th. This one we're calling it Reality Shift. This one's happening in Orlando, Florida. Nick Weatherly will be talking about behavior-based safety. Todd Conklin will be there talking about human and organizational performance. And I will be there talking about Signal Trilogy. So if you want to come hang out with us, this one will be taking place at a movie theater. I was actually yesterday there once again checking it out. Making sure that we have the venue up and running in regards to what we have planned. So there you go. That's some options for you that we would love to see you there for. So there you go. That one's taking place at a movie theater July the 13th. Some people keep on asking why on a Monday. We're doing it on a Monday just in case if you want to hang out in Orlando over that particular weekend, the weekend before. So that way you have some time to hang out and do some things. Anyways, to find out more information about that one, all you have to do is go to safetyfm.com and click on the section that says live events. And that will get you moving and grooving, or you can just scan that little QR code that's on the screen. So that is it. That is some events coming up. Would love to see you at some of them if you want to come and hang out with us. No doubt about that. Anyways, I got John Small waiting in the wing where he wants to talk about the Motivation Minute. So if you're good with this, I'm good with this, and we can get that rolling right now.
Courtesy of JaceCaseMedical.com. Today's quote was submitted by Rose. Helen Keller said, "Optimism is the faith that leads to achievement. Nothing can be done without hope and confidence." How true is that? Have you ever attempted anything without hope? I've never tried this myself, but I've watched others do it. One of the saddest things to watch is somebody who's given up on their dream. I've been in media for over 35 years. During that time, I've helped businesses go through a store closing period. Some are actually a joyous occasion, like a planned retirement. That's completely different from an unplanned closure. I've been with owners as they choke back tears while telling me the vision they had, but it never happened. Now they're haggling over the price of fixtures as vultures pick the bones of their dream. That's hard to do. It's my least favorite place to be, but I also want to be there to help them through it. The Motivation Minute. This has been the Motivation Minute. I'm John Small. Thanks for listening. Your favorite motivational quotes can be submitted for upcoming programs at motivationminute.org.
Here is the news on the Rated R Safety Show.
Iran's war with the United States and Israel is grinding into a third week with new strikes and rising fears.
Thick smoke rose over Tehran on Monday as fresh explosions hit the Iranian capital and nearby areas. Israel released video, it says, shows troops operating inside Lebanon as fighting with Hezbollah and Iranian forces deepened. Aid groups warn of a growing humanitarian crisis. Benjamin Wright reporting.
A deadly drone strike near Dubai's international airport is rattling nerves across the Gulf even as flights slowly resume.
Authorities said a drone hit a fuel tank near Dubai International Airport, sparking a large fire and briefly halting operations at one of the world's busiest air hubs. Officials reported no injuries, and firefighters brought the blaze under control while airlines worked through delays. Gary Beck reporting.
President Trump is pressing foreign leaders to help guard the Strait of Hormuz, even as allies hesitate to commit warships.
Speaking to reporters aboard Air Force One, Trump said he has demanded that about 7 oil-reliant countries send naval forces to help keep the key waterway open. The strait normally carries around 1/5 of the world's traded oil, and Iran's moves have fueled a global energy crunch. Liam White reporting.
This is the latest news headlines.
A powerful late-season storm is sweeping across the central and eastern United States, dumping snow, snarling roads, and grounding flights.
Forecasters said a strong weather system has spread heavy snow over the upper Midwest and Great Lakes, while unleashing severe thunderstorms and possible tornadoes farther south. Airlines canceled or delayed more than 3,000 flights. Jessica Oakley reporting.
The Pentagon has identified 6 U.S. airmen killed in a plane crash in Iraq, honoring them as the war with Iran grinds on.
Defense officials released the names of the 6 crew members who died when their aircraft went down in western Iraq late last week during a mission linked to the wider conflict. The victims ranged in age from their late 20s to late 30s and came from communities in Alabama, Washington, Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and Ohio again. Kyle Norris reporting.
The White House is weighing whether to delay President Trump's planned trip to China, citing the demands of the Iran conflict and global tensions.
Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt told reporters there is a chance the visit, set for later this month, could be pushed back as security meetings intensify. She said discussions with Chinese officials are continuing at the leader level and promised an update once new dates are finalized. Lawrence Keller reporting.
And that's the latest news headlines with Alan Edwards.
USA, Canada, UK.
Oh, button thingies. I always love when they work and when they don't. Anyways, let's talk about some things that happened back on this date. Let's take a look. Let's see. Back in 1753, it's the first official St. Patrick's Day. So there you go. In 1756, St. Patrick's Day first celebrated in New York City at the Crown and Thirst Tavern. Also in 1905, Ellen Roosevelt marries FDR in New York. In 1912, Campfire Girls announce Miss Luther Halsky-Gulick. So there you go. And in 1997, CNN begins to broadcast in Spanish. So there you go. Some things to talk about. Anyways, let's talk about some birthdays that are going on today. John Sebastian turns 82. Patrick Duffy turns 77. Kurt Russell turns 75. And Rob Lowe turned 62 today. So there you go. That's some birthdays for you. Let's talk about some things you ought to know. Tonight's Mega Million jackpot is for $60 million. Here are last night's winning Powerball numbers. The jackpot was $88 million, just in case. It was 7, 10, 20, 47, 52. Powerball was 20, and Power Play was 2. So there you go. Okay, former Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino is set to retire just months after he was removed from his job arresting and deploying illegal immigrants in Minneapolis. Bovino, who had close ties to existing Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem, will officially leave his post at the end of March. Multiple sources told ABC that he spent recent months serving as a commander at large at the CBP during the multiple federal operations in major cities carrying out Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. So there you go. Also, in some other news, a powerful heat dome is building in much of the western United States. Bringing record-breaking temperatures to millions of people months before summer officially begins. Meteorologists say that weather systems will impact 14 states, including California, Nevada, Arizona, Utah, New Mexico, Colorado, and Texas, along with parts of the Pacific Northwest and the Great Plains. The system acts like a lid of high pressure, trapping hot air near the surface, limiting cloud cover, and allowing the sun to superheat the region. So there you go. Some stuff to think about as we are talking. So there you go. Also, in some other news, as the partial government shutdown continues, or to drag on, better saying, Transportation Security Administration officers are not getting their paychecks due to lapse of funding at the Department of Homeland Security. Over the weekend, airports across the country faced long security delays, with TSA officers calling out to work. There was a national call-out rate of 10.19% on Sunday, and TSA spokesperson told Fox News that's the highest rate the agency has ever seen. Yeah, I can kind of understand if you're not getting paid on how you might not show up to work. That kind of makes sense to me. So there you go. Anyways, that's going to sum up our time together at the top of the hour. I will be going over to radiobig.fm. if you want to come and hang out with me for the next couple hours or so. If you don't want to do that, that's perfectly fine. You can hang out here with the likes of Sheldon Primus, as he will be talking about the world of safety consulting. If I can't leave you with some words of wisdom for today, I would love to leave you with this. You've got to do your own growing, no matter how tall your grandfather was. Think about that. And if I can't give you tidbits of advice for today, onions are nearly ripe when the tips of the leaves turn yellow. Just in case you did not know that. Anyways, I know who you are. You know who I am. Love you, mean it, and goodbye.
The views and opinions expressed during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are solely those of the host and guests and do not necessarily reflect the official policy or position of Safety FM and or Radio Big. The content discussed, including examples of analysis, is provided for illustrative purposes only. It should not be applied as the sole solution in real-world scenarios, as it is based on limited and dated open source information. Any assumptions made during this broadcast, podcast, or radio show are not reflective of Safety FM and or Radio Big. No portion of this broadcast, podcast, or radio show may be reproduced, stored in a retrieval system, or transmitted in any form or by any means, electronic, mechanical, recording, or otherwise, without prior written permission of Safety FM and or Radio Big. For permission requests, please contact Safety FM or Radio Big directly.
You got into the safety business because you wanted to protect people, but somewhere along the way, the job started controlling your time, your schedule, your priorities, even your income potential. What if the expertise you've built over the years in the field can give you something more? More freedom, more control, more ownership of your future. I'm Sheldon Primus, the author of 7 Steps to Starting a Profitable Safety Consulting Business and the host of the Safety Consultant Podcast, with more than 350 episodes helping safety professionals become consultants and grow their career. Consulting changed my life. In fact, I'm a full-time RVer, and one consulting contract paid for my home I live in today. Now, I help safety professionals build their own consulting practice through bi-weekly coaching calls, accountability, and personal guidance. But this program isn't for everyone. Start with the Consultant Readiness Audit at sheldon.coach.
What if everything we thought we knew about safety was just interference? From the host of the Rated R Safety Show and the founder of Safety FM comes the complete signal transmission trilogy, now available in one powerful edition. Safety, in my opinion. The book that started the conversation. Safety Mutation, where the boundaries of culture, systems, and belief begin to break. And now, Safety Transmission, the final piece of the signal. For the first time, all 3 books are together in one volume. The Signal Transmission Trilogy, Complete Edition. This isn't just about compliance. It's about consciousness. It's about decoding the way we think, lead, and live, inside and outside the system. Whether you've been following the signal since the beginning or you're just now tuning in, this is the version to own. Search Signal Trilogy on Amazon or visit safetyfm.com to get your copy now.